Out of all the Disney heroines we got from the past century, I can safely say that none of them can compete with Mulan. Mulan from 1998 is more than just a musical masterpiece. It's also the only Disney princess movie that focuses on the most important love story of them all. Not romance, friendship, or even familial love, a journey of self love. Hi, I'm Cartoons Vlog, and today I'm going to be discussing the story of Mulan 1998 and why she truly is the perfect heroine for Disney. Now, for those who don't know, Mulan is a film about a young girl named Mulan who, after finding out about her father going into war, takes his place and disguises herself as a man to save his life. After going through trial and error with some help from a dragon named Mushu, she beats the leader of the invaders and saves China from usurpation. The main difference between the animated and the live-action remake is how Mulan is introduced in completely different ways. What makes the animated version so much better is that Mulan herself doesn't start off as a skilled fighter, but an awkward klutz. She's shown nearly spilling tea, bumping into people, and entirely ruining her matchmaking. This all demonstrates just how inexperienced Mulan truly is, and allows us to get invested in seeing her progress throughout the story. In contrast, the live action adaptation introduced her already knowing her skills and techniques as a child. In fact, her only reason for failing isn't because of her clumsiness, but because of someone else's fear of spiders. And even so, she still has the skills to stop the teacups from falling on the ground. The animation is so much more inspirational as we see how Mulan is a flawed person who struggles with fitting in a society that expects nothing more from her than her to be a bride. At the matchmaking, Mulan fails not only because of the cricket, but also because of her messiness and clumsy actions that leads to humiliation on her family's name. This hurts her so much to the point that she can't even look at her father when she returns home, which is where her solo comes in. Personally, Reflection isn't my favorite I Want song from all the Disney female leads, but is one of the most empowering ones. This one song really defines what kind of struggles Mulan is dealing with. Rather than her song telling us what she wants, her song questions herself on what person she truly is. I absolutely love the visuals from this scene when she's walking on top of the ridge from her looking at her reflection multiple times. The song symbolizes Mulan's desires to appeal to society, but how doing so leads to her rejecting who she truly is. How she is forced to follow tradition and how every time she tries to, her clumsiness leads to disasters. Another thing I like about her in this scene is how we see her potential as she's dancing at the edge of a bridge while she's singing. This entire scene shows Mulan's number one problem, insecurity. Mulan is unsure with what kind of person she is, and how being herself only leads to hurting her family, which is the most important thing to her. Mulan loves her family, so whenever her behavior ends up ruining their reputation and plan, she feels like she's not fulfilling her duties as a daughter. I also love how Mulan's parents aren't abusive or in any way bad parents. While they do want her to become a bride and uphold the family honor, they never once wanted her to be something that she wasn't. We see this after her song, and her dad comes and metaphorically tells her that she's precious, even if she will need to take time to show that potential. Mulan's entire reasons for taking the mantle and pretending to be a man was all to save her father from getting killed in this war. Mulan's loyalty to her family is one of the greatest strengths across the film, without achieving this with the help of Mushu, a tiny dragon who also suffers from being an outcast as well. Not a lot of people talk about this, but Mushu is actually a foil for Mulan, and he's actually a great one, because he was also considered differently through his own past mistakes. What contradicts him from Mulan is that he never tried to help Mulan out of loyalty or selflessness like she did, but instead did so for himself and to get his job as a guardian again. But through his friendship with Mulan, Mushu became a more selfless and caring person and was even willing to risk his life for Mulan at the end of the movie. What I like about Mushu in this film, if we're not talking about the sequel, is how he's also a deeply flawed character, just like Mulan, and his voice performance was probably one of the best in the movie. But from their friendship, both Mulan and Mushu grew and changed and became better versions of themselves. When Mulan joins the army, she struggles a lot more with training than she does with playing as a bride to society. She even gets bullied and picked on by the other men and even their captain, Shang Li. Her clumsiness and messiness are what causes these mess ups, and having everyone around her telling her to just give up and pack up. Despite this mistreatment, Mulan persists and shows resilience through these tough times and can even think more practically to succeed. We see this in this training montage, where she gets to the top of the pole using her brains rather than her strength. She was also the one person who had a plan when they first fought against Shan Yu and his army. Instead of just fighting, Mulan took the last cannon and aimed it at the mountain, creating an avalanche. She also risked her life to save the people on her team, like Shen, and got wounded in the process. This all leads to her identity being revealed and was left behind by her team. Like, she was supposed to be killed, but Shang spared her life as she did save his. Even though she was abandoned and ignored by them, she still chose to persist when the Hans came back. She kept trying to warn Shang on their return and was even ignored by the whole crew. It was only until the Hans kidnapped the Emperor they chose to listen. This final act truly shows Mulan's strong resilience even when the whole world is against her. Her story shows the importance of doing what's right, even when it only hurts you more. In the end of the movie, Mulan receives the honor that her family has always wanted, but instead of receiving the gifts, her dad instead hugs her, telling her that there's no honor in this world that's better than her. Mulan's story, if anything, shows to us the importance of resilience and the that comes from family, friends, a lover, but more importantly, the love that you must give to yourself. Mulan is overall a fantastic film, and I'm just so upset about the live action that I just had to talk about what made the original so special. Mulan truly is a great hero, and she deserves all the love and respect that she gets.